Hello, good evening, and many thanks for joining us on the Insight tonight. My name is Eugyne Ochieng Kwach, and of course, this is the Insight where we give you insights on different issues, matters, politics, those that affect you one-on-one, affects you directly or indirectly. And of course, in this bench, we bring different political commentators to discuss issues that are happening in the political scene. Well, apart from a new proposed bill meant to change the way election results are transmitted, we are set also to discuss the alliances. We're also going to look and delve deeply into the high cost of living and of course the kind of politics that we are currently playing and seeing happening in the political terrain. Well, of course, I have with me three guests who will help me delve in this discourse highly. And of course, my first guest tonight is Saddam Gashie. Saddam Gashie is a youth leader and of a Democratic Party. He's a youth leader of a Democratic Party. We have Michael Arega, who is the president of PAUK, that is a Pan-African movement, and he's also a writer. We also have Jonah Kamau Taiti. Jonah Kamau Taiti is a political commentator allied to UDA, and of course is also vying for an MCA position 2022. Thank you so much, gentlemen, for honoring my invite this night. We look at the current state of politics. Let me just start by asking and questioning. Maybe if I can start with you, Mr. Arega. You look at the current state of the nation, more so matters concerning economy. What do you make of it?
Okay, thank you first of all for having me for the show.
Yes.
Okay, there's the high cost of living currently. There's the cash crunch. You realize that the prices of basic commodities are shooting high, and we also have the situation of inequalities brought about by COVID-19. People who do odd jobs were told to stay at home, and maybe they were not able to go to their places of work. And so coupled with inflation, which is also a problem even outside Kenya.
Okay.
So much of this has contributed to a high cost of living, which Kenyans are now complaining about.
Okay. So what do you think about the state of the nation, majorly concerning economic issues? You know, for a very long time, actually, economic revival or resuscitation has been in the slogans of politicians. So as we are going to head towards the 2022 election, it is actually a critical topic that actually every politician wants to be known for, maybe as a person who will resuscitate the economy. So going forward, how do you look at all these from where we are?
All I can say, currently, as we are in Kenya,
yes,
we can say that we have been trying since the era of Moi. Kibaki came, he tried his best. At least the time of Uhuru and Ruto, they tried their best. We have seen some improvements. We always say that everything keeps on improving. Today, tomorrow, and the other day, until you reach your best or where you want to be. And I can say that even the way the state of economy is in Kenya, there is still room for improvement. For example, we were to deal with when Uhuru and Ruto joined together, they were to deal with 4 main agendas, which they tried their best. Maybe through, like, if I can take an example of affordable housing, they would have solved a little bit of unemployment in our country. So I believe with the best government, which we believe that will be formed come 2022 August, they can be able to go and maximize on improving our economy.
Thank you so much, Mr. Gashie, for coming to the show, actually.
Thank you.
So my question actually to you is about the economy. We know that COVID-19 has actually has adversely affected it. But where are we going to? What has made it this worse?
Thank you very much for having me on the show.
Yes.
I'm looking forward to having a fruitful discussion.
Yes.
First, I would like to comment on the issue of the economy, where the predicament that this country is finding itself in is it is as a result of the corruption levels in this country, it is evident that the principal assistant of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta has deliberately chosen to fight, to distance himself from this fight against corruption. When the president mentioned about the lifestyle audit, his personal assistant, the deputy president, went ahead and said that this was a political witch hunt. It is so sad that this country loses to close to 2 billion shillings every day.
Okay.
So if all this money it gets lost and ends up in people's pocket, it is as a result of this that we find ourselves hurting as Kenyans. We find Kenyans feeling this cash crunch, and we can only pray to God that come the next general election in 2022, that we are going to have a paradigm shift and a changeover in the leadership of this country, and we in the Democratic Party, we strongly believe that our main agenda will be to fight corruption and have an overhaul of the tax regime. It is very unfair that the tax indexes in this country are equal or are equivalent to every Kenyan, regardless of your social status or your financial status. That will be a main concern in the administration of the Honorable Justin Muturi.
Okay, Mr. Taiti, let me ask you this question.
Yes.
In as much as we're talking about all these economic issues that are facing us as a challenge, what is, how can we fix the economy? What are the solutions?
I think this is the way that we can fix the economy. First, we need to realize our position, where you are, so that you can be able to know where you want to go. By this, what do I mean? It's, for example, once we form the next government, God willing, through United Democratic Alliance, we want to encourage and to improve the 4 agendas that President Uhuru and his deputy had come up with, and try the best to make that possible. Once that is possible, the economy must improve, because the 4 agendas has touched the 4 main problems that Kenya is affecting our Kenyans. The other thing is, once we improve on the bottom level, going up, I believe that our problems will be solved. Yes.
Okay, thank you. Regal, let me ask Gashi a question first. I'll be coming to you. Mr. Gashi, there are actually a number of candidates who have shown interest in succeeding President Uhuru Kenyatta.
Yes.
From where you sit actually, in your own honest opinion, do you think that amongst them there is someone actually who can take the mantle and actually revive the economy of Kenya, who has got a goodwill, maybe among the politicians that you have seen?
Definitely, the best person I find fit to take over the realms of power from His Excellency President Kenyatta is Honorable Justin Muturi. I can, with the following reasons. One, he has a clean track record. His name hasn't featured in any corruption case. He has worked in the judiciary, a career spanning over 20 years, served in the legislative arm. Now it's heading to 10 years. He doesn't have any single case of corruption hanging over his head. The other thing, the Honorable Speaker has vocally and stated it clearly that he's going to fight corruption head on. If your name is mentioned in any corruption case, step out, and you resign, and we'll find an immediate replacement for your case, because this country is bigger than each one of us. The other thing that we are going to ensure we in the Democratic Party, we change the economic trajectory, is we will ensure that we have tax holiday and tax incentives, especially to the low-income earners and the middle-income earners. We will also ensure that raw materials, which are imported in the country, we are going to ensure that we give them tax rebates and tax holidays. These are among the things that we are going to do, we in the Democratic Party, to ensure that the corruption levels of the economic levels of this country are going at a higher trajectory. Okay,
Mr. Tahiti, still on you. You've heard Michael Arega and Mr. Gashia talking about corruption, of which they have said that your party leader has explicitly not involved himself in the fight against corruption. is part of the Uhuru Ruto candidature actually in 2013 and 2017. He wants to be the president come 2022. And of course, we are talking about an economy that is facing a downward trajectory. Why do you, as a supporter of UDA, actually believes that Ruto actually is the best candidate to revive the economy of Kenya?
Very true. The reason is Mr. Kwach.
Yes.
And I want to rectify something that he has said. If truly I'm a thief today,
Yes.
as come out tight as I am, I believe that the law will catch up on me.
Okay.
The same thing. If they say that William Ruto is corrupt, we hear them saying that we have the system. If truly he is corrupt, you should go, let him be taken to court, let the court decide, and let's not have corrupt leaders.
Okay.
That's my point.
Okay.
But we
Okay,
cannot,
I think the bone of contention here.
this is the point.
Yes.
Let's not politicize everything using corruption. There is something that William Ruto said another day. They went to the podium, they just said that he owns 10,000 acres in Naivasha, he owns how many acres in Karen, and he just stood in the podium and said something very literal. If I have it, they have the RAD's office, they have the title deeds. Let go and sell it and distribute to the less fortunate.
Okay, what I think the bone of contention here is that unlike President Uhuru Kenyatta or talk about Right Honorable Raila Amolo Odinga, they have come outright that did not want to be associated with corruption. Now, they also want the deputy president, your party leader, to come out also and say that he is not part of corruption and does not want or is ready to fight corruption, of which he has not done.
Actually, William Ruto is very ready to fight corruption.
Okay.
The point is this. What happened in Kenya is that we are politicizing everything.
Okay.
We are politicizing the corruption issue. Instead of fighting corruption, we are politicizing it.
Okay.
Now, once we politicize something, it lacks meaning. And so the best thing that we can do as Kenyans, we can join hands, we come, we fight corruption. If it's to declare the wealth, let's start from the top.
Okay. Michael Arega, you are an ardent supporter of Raila Amolo Odinga. Raila Amolo Odinga has gotten to a handshake with Uhuru Kenyatta. The current regime that we are in is led by Uhuru Kenyatta. How is it possible that a regime that actually is facing a lot of economic challenges like this, Raila says that he wants to continue with Uhuru's legacy? How is it possible that he's going to revive the economy if he's talking about continuing with Uhuru's legacy?
Thank you, Eugene, for the question.
Yes.
First of all, allow me to have some few rebuttals from what my colleagues are saying.
Okay.
You know, listening to these two gentlemen talk about our economy, I'm flabbergasted. Because my friend from UDA is being too simplistic, idealistic, and unrealistic about our economy. But my friend from Muturi is being vague about reviving the economy.
Okay.
What problem do you have today? As you rightly point, corruption is the giant in the house. How do we avoid corruption? We should ensure that we are in a position whereby we make corruption costly. If you are found corrupt, you should be given, maybe you should be taken for a long jail term, or they put it to 1 billion, like you saw the other day with the NHIF.
Okay.
But you realize that the reason why he's struggling is that Ruto can't talk about corruption because himself is mostly corrupt than any other guy around. He's telling us about evidence. We know for sure that there are still cases in the court continuing right now. We have the issue of Ruai land sewage. We have the issue of Western Hotel land. There are many cases that Ruto is still handling in case today. But the judiciary has been the weakest link in our fight against corruption. And my friend, he forgets that the speaker was actually elected because Jubilee enjoyed the numbers in the house. It was, to some extent, part of that Jubilee. What we have today is that we've overborrowed. Why did we overborrow? There's a deficit ceiling for overborrowing. We say today we have a 8 trillion deficit. That is the total amount we have to pay back. Now, in paying that back, you have to pay the civil servant. You have also to build roads. If you look at all this, it becomes too difficult to manage, so that there is high taxation. And that's how we have our products, the prices shoots, because you now have to look for money. They're trying to collect revenue through taxation. So if we come to this conversation and start being too simplistic and say that we're going to revive the economy, the question is how? Now, coming back to your question, Raila Amolo Odinga has been in the opposition for the longest time possible.
Yes.
They did say that for the purpose of this nation, let us unite our hands and come together as a nation. Then his deputy left it and started this bottom-up thing. I can't even understand. So that it is a point whereby Raila Amolo Odinga, as he's going to be the next president of this country, he has to continue with some of the projects that His Excellency did start as not completed. Most of these projects, we really need them. We need to build road. You can't just say bottom up. You really need to create wealth first. What we're going to do is that for us to ensure that we cover this bottom up guys, we have a social welfare protection fund. The Inua Ichumi Pesa Mfukoni, a 6,000 stipend for families that have really been ravaged with the economy and are not able to put food on the table. But at the same time, we want to create wealth through what we call job creation, the inawezekana youth employment. There are ways that you can't, in economy, you can't just say everything is going to take the bottom-up approach, because you're going to need to create wealth. How do you create wealth? You create wealth through manufacturing, you create employment through industrialization, so that if you just say your intention is to bring the mama mboga, which is now Mudavadi and Wetangula, then you realize it becomes a problem, because you shall have brought them, yes, but we must create wealth through infrastructure.
Yes.
And I love the big four agenda is talking about. They were to focus on big manufacturing, house universal healthcare, and food safety. All this couldn't happen because they had overborrowed initially.
Okay, thank you, gentlemen. I'm giving you a time for a battle, but actually I'm being directed that we need to go for a short break actually before we come back. Thank you so much, gentlemen. Keep staying with us. Actually, you can send your SMS to 21144. That is our SMS line. But of course, you can also get us at GBS TV Africa, at Eugyne Ochieng Kwach. That is our social media platform, so you can also engage with us and talk with us. Thank you so much.